Have you ever noticed how when you ask someone, "How are you?" in America, the answer is almost always the same? Busy. Crazy busy. So swamped. Everyone's busy. Your coworker who scrolls TikTok for 3 hours a day? Busy. Your friend who watches every Netflix show the day it drops? Busy. Even people who literally do nothing all weekend will tell you they're busy. But here's the question. Why? Why are Americans obsessed with performing busyness, even when they're not actually doing anything productive? Is it insecurity? Is it culture? Or is there something much deeper happening in our psychology? Stick with me until the end, because what you'll discover might explain why you feel guilty every time you sit down. For some people, the story is painful but simple. They perform busyness because rest feels like failure. Imagine this. You grew up watching your parents work themselves to exhaustion. Every dinner conversation was about deadlines and overtime. Relaxation was lazy. Downtime was wasted time. Over time, your brain learned a brutal equation. Your worth equals your output. Psychologists call this productivity anxiety, when your self-esteem becomes completely tied to how much you accomplish. So eventually, even when you have nothing to do, you convince yourself and everyone else that you're drowning in tasks. Not because you are, but because being busy is the only identity you know how to wear. Admitting you have free time feels like admitting you don't matter. Then there's another group. These are the people genuinely caught in what researchers call time famine. Work emails at 11 p.m., side hustles on weekends, kids' activities scheduled like military operations, the groceries, the laundry, the oil change you've been putting off for 3 months. It's not that they're lying about being busy. It's that American culture has created an impossible standard where you need 2 incomes to survive, 0 social safety nets to fall back on, and employers who expect you to be available 24/7. For them, busyness isn't a flex, it's survival mode. And when your brain stays in survival mode long enough, it stops knowing how to rest, even when it can. And finally, there's a third group. They're not actually overwhelmed. They're not stuck in survival mode. They just know that in America, busyness is currency. Think about it. When someone asks what you did this weekend and you say, "Nothing," you see the judgment in their eyes. But say, "Oh my God, I had brunch, then a friend's birthday, then I deep cleaned my apartment, then meal prepped for the week," and suddenly you're impressive. Studies show that in wealthy countries, especially the United States, being busy has become a status symbol. It signals that you're important, that you're in demand, that your time is valuable. This is called conspicuous busyness, and it's the modern version of showing off. We used to flex with luxury cars. Now we flex with packed calendars. The irony? Research also shows that people who constantly broadcast their busyness are often the least effective. They're performing productivity, not achieving it. And here's the most interesting part. This obsession doesn't just affect our schedules. It rewires how we see rest itself. Americans take less vacation than almost any developed country. We eat lunch at our desks. We feel guilty watching TV without also folding laundry. We've turned relaxation into something that needs to be earned, productive, or justified. Even our rest has to be busy. We don't just go for a walk, we track our steps. We don't just sit with a book, we join a book club and set reading goals. We've gamified downtime because we can't stand the idea of simply existing without output. So whether you're the person who genuinely has no time, the person performing busyness for status, or the person who simply can't remember how to rest, all of it reveals the same thing. America has made you believe that your value is measured in how little space you have to breathe. For some, it's internalized trauma. For others, it's economic survival. And for many, it's just the game we all agreed to play without realizing we're losing. The real question is, which one are you? Are you busy because you have to be, or because you're terrified of what it means if you're not? If this made you think differently about your own relationship with busyness, you'll love the other psychology topics we cover here. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video. We dive deep into the kind of psychology that actually explains you.